Hi guys, welcome to this episode of the Come Up Starter Kit, where we provide information on how to build your career. Today I have a special guest with me, Varun. Today what we're going to discuss is ways about obtaining employment if you are from overseas. So as you can imagine, trying to get your first job coming from overseas can be a real challenge. So Varun, thank you so much for taking the time out today, especially out of your Saturday night to come speak to me. What I'll do is I'll hand it over to Varun to introduce himself.
Hi, Shankar, and it's a pleasure to me for inviting me for this meeting, and thank you so much. So, to introduce myself, my name is Varun, and I've done my bachelor's degree back in India in computer science, and after that, I've done a job like for 4 months, and I had a dream to pursue my master's because I was more focused into IT and technology and stuff. So I wanted to pursue my master's, and that's the thing which brought me to Australia. So I came to Australia back in 2017, maybe in June, I guess. So I've done my master's in IT, and I've even specialized in computer networking because that was the main thing, because I was more focused into IT networking and stuff. So that's a brief info about me.
Perfect. All right, lovely. So I guess what people want to know, I guess first off the bat is, what were some of the steps that you took after you sort of finished your master's degree to try and get, I guess, your first professional job?
Definitely, because I would definitely suggest that even before completing your graduation, you need to be in a place where you need to plan things, how to get forward. Because in my case, I've done the same thing. Because even when I was pursuing my master's degree, I was like, I need to do something which would be out of the box. So then I've decided that I need to do a internship, because even when I quickly finish my graduation, I'll be in a place to get a job with maybe an internship or something. And even if I was lucky, I thought that I would get a job directly in my internship. So then I started searching for different internship opportunities through Seek and through Indeed and even Google. And it took me like 2 months to find some agencies who provide you internship at different companies. Then I was lucky to find a company and I got interviewed there. And then I've done my internship. And after that, the company actually got shifted to Sydney, so I could not get a job opportunity there. And I was even doing my master's degree.
Okay. What
Then
was
right
the,
after that,
I guess, what was
yep.
that first internship? What were you doing there?
So that was like a network and cybersecurity engineer.
Yep.
So, yep. So I had to actually scan the network's rough patches, where I had to even log all the details of the organizations. So I was actually providing IT support for different companies who they were referring to. So that was a pretty good role,
Okay.
and it was not in depth of cybersecurity, but it even included networking.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And then, so you
Yeah.
finished your internship, and then you finished sort of your studies and what have you. How long did it take you to get your, I guess, your professional job?
So after my studies, it literally took me like 5 months to get my first job,
Right.
because it was not at all easy. And even after my graduation, I've done many mistakes, and I was like going through all the mistakes, and I tried getting answers for that,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
I never lost hope in myself, because I know people make mistakes, but I was like easily getting from that mistakes, because it took me like first 2 months to get to know like what mistakes I was doing.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
then after that it was easy. And then it took me like 5 months actually to get my first job. And I got my first job in January this year.
Okay. How, I guess, for yourself, this is always a big thing for people that, they just finish and they're trying to look for their next role. How was it
Yep,
for, I guess, your mindset? How did you make sure to keep positive? What would be your tips around that?
definitely, because I would say to the people that they need to definitely be positive, because I see some people even say, like other people, like they generally say that you can't even get a job in your TR, but that's wrong, because I've seen many people, like many people getting a job in their TR with good organizations. So that's just a myth, I would say, because many people after their graduation try for PR directly, but that's not the case. So just be positive, like try for your PR and even try for your job. So even I'm doing the same thing at the moment.
Yeah.
So you just need to make sure to juggle the things between your job and your PR. So that's the main thing. Like just be confident, just be focused, try to like learn new things through online learnings and stuff, and
Hmm.
just be ready for your interviews and your job programs,
Yeah.
and that would definitely help everyone.
All right. And so maybe if you can give some people some strategies around the way of what you took to try and land your first professional role.
Yep, definitely, because I've made some mistakes, so I can even tell what mistakes I've made,
Yeah.
so I can suggest people like not to do that. Because in the starting, I used to only have one resume, which was not even a proper resume.
Yeah.
So I thought that resume would fetch me a job. And I used to like apply like 20, 30 jobs in a day with the same resume and
Hmm.
even with a cover letter. So what would I suggest is that please don't like just use a generic resume. Try to make different resumes according to the job descriptions, because you tend to apply different job which has different responsibilities. So you can't just stick a resume to different roles. So that would be my main suggestion. And even with cover letter, you need to be precise and you need to change your cover letter for every job you apply.
Yeah.
So it's like applying 100 jobs without a proper resume and applying 5 jobs with a good resume would give you actually more chances than applying 100 jobs. So just take your time, like apply only jobs like you think that you fit into that. Like in my case, I would only apply to the job where I think I'm at least fit like for 70% of
Mm.
the duties which they provided. So that's the main thing. So just make sure don't use generic resume.
Perfect.
And the second thing would be LinkedIn,
Hmm.
because I can't even emphasize more on LinkedIn. And even, we are connected to this meeting via LinkedIn. And even if you remember, I've actually met you in an elevator when I was going to an interview at Robert Half.
Yes.
Yes, so Billy Hosking was actually interviewing me at that time, and we met in an elevator. So we just had like a 20-second talk. So I do remember you from the elevator talk, and I've connected you through LinkedIn
Yeah.
via the thing which happened before. So LinkedIn is a way where you actually reach out with recruiters. That would help you in so many ways, because when you're active on LinkedIn, try to post new stuff, like try to add all your roles, responsibilities. Like even if people do certification, they can directly add those on LinkedIn. And you can even like build rapport with recruiters. That would even make more chances to get to an interview. And in my case, even with the previous job I've got, even before I went to an interview, I had a chat with my interviewer, because I could find my interviewer who was interviewing me.
Mhm.
I just found them on LinkedIn, and I've already messaged that. I told them that thank you for actually calling me for an interview tomorrow. So I try to build rapport with LinkedIn. So I would say that LinkedIn is such a big tool.
Perfect.
And yep, and I even forgot one thing with resume, that there's something called ATS scanning. So that's applicant tracking system. So that scans your resume even before that goes to a recruiter at many different organizations. So you even have many useful links in Google where you can see if your resume is ATS compliant or not. So even I did the same thing, and even it gives you a feedback saying your resume needs to be changed at this particular places and stuff.
Yeah.
So I
Perfect.
would say these two things are pretty crucial, because I see many people just that like just start using LinkedIn and they just think that okay, like I would get the jobs directly, like I would message each and every recruiter, because That's not the case, because some people directly just message the recruiter saying, I just need a job. So that's not right. You just try to need to build rapport, introduce yourself, and try to apply jobs, and maybe just wait for the results. That's it.
Very good, very good. Any other sort of challenges that you faced at all, whether it be sort of around interviews or anything of that nature?
Yeah, definitely. Like even with my first interview, I still remembered, like I was like so anxious, like I could not even answer properly, because here that was my first professional interview after my internship, because my internship was my first one and that went good.
Yeah,
But with the professional job thing, I could directly say after my interview that I did not actually make a good impression, because I myself know that I did not know good. And even with that, I went to home and I was like, that's fine. Like I took my time and I tried to search interview tips. And for me, the best thing was the STAR method.
yeah,
So that's the method even I would like suggest many people to use that. So that's nothing but STAR method is like situation, task, action, result, and method. Like even if they ask you any question, just try to say which situation you use that and what was the task and how was the result, so that even interviewer would have a clear idea about what you're talking about.
yeah. Very good,
And
very good.
that's the main thing.
All right, perfect. And so, what else I sort of wanted to cover off with yourself is you mentioned that when we were discussing previously, if you were to get calls from a recruiter, sometimes that phone call could be an interview. What are your tips around
Definitely.
that?
Yes, so when you apply a job, so the first thing you expect is a phone call. And I did not knew about this, frankly, because when I was like starting to apply for jobs, I got a call from my recruiter directly saying that, hey Varun, I need to talk to you like for 5 minutes. Are you free? And I was like, okay, yep, I'm like fine right now, but frankly, I was at gym and I was not even ready. I don't know what I've submitted, because I submit different resume for different organization. I did not even know what resume I submitted to that organization. So I was not even prepared. Then after like that phone call did not go well, and after like 4 days I called the recruiter directly, because I had a good rapport with him even on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
So I was like, do you know what went wrong? Then the recruiter was like, hey Varun, your phone interview was good. And I was like, when was the phone interview happened? And the recruiter told me that the day when I called you, that was your phone interview, but
Right.
I did not specify you, because I knew that if I were like at home, I would have my laptop and be ready for that phone interview. So what I suggest people is that when a recruiter call you, some recruiters may say you, hey, it's a phone call, but some recruiters doesn't even say it's a phone interview, but they're trying to get information from you, and then trying to see like how the people like they talk, because they even need the phone etiquette and everything, because that's the main thing. Communication skills plays a crucial role.
Yeah.
So I would like suggest everyone that when they get a call, just try to be ready. You can take your time. You can ask them that, hey, I need 1 minute. I just need to fix my things up. And you can maybe like open your laptop or see the job application, or just be prepared, like just be calm. And even if you're at a different place or maybe in a public transport, you can tell them that, hey, I'm in a public transport right now, and can you please call me after like 1 hour? Because that happened to me, because at some calls I was outside and they even again called me like in 1 hour, and when I was at home it went pretty good.
Mhm. Very
So
good.
that's the first step in an interview, because after a phone interview, then you'll be selected to another interview. If you
Yeah.
don't do well in a phone interview, then that's it. You don't even get a call up for a different interview.
Yeah. Maybe what some other people might want to know is how did you go about getting your internship? What were some ways that you tried to apply, or just, yeah, ways that you try to get that internship?
Definitely, because luckily in Australia there are different agencies who provide you internships. So you can get them on Google, or I can even tell their names. Like I went it to like through something called PGP. So it was called Premium Graduate Placements. So I've got my internship through them. And there's something called ReadyGrad as well, which is quite popular among different universities and different, even in professional year program, ReadyGrad actually provides internship in that. So I would say that if you like, just try to Google, you get different links. And even my suggestion would be that if you get a interview call up through the agencies, just try to make sure that like you like the company, because even if you cancel that interview, they even call you to another company. So make sure that you are in a right organization with a right role. Because with me, I was actually looking for a network engineer kind of role, and I've got the same role, and I was pretty happy with the organization.
Yeah, perfect. Wonderful. All right. So if we were to give the audience the three main tips that you thought were most important, what would you
Yeah.
say that they were?
So as I told you, the first main thing would be resume,
Yeah.
and even with resume, make sure that which job you're applying, because many people tend to apply different jobs like with different roles and responsibility. I would say that maybe stick to like 2 to 3 roles maybe, and try to particularly get those through Seek, Indeed. Just type the job role.
Yeah.
That's it. So just try to make different resumes. Don't be generic.
Yeah.
So that I cannot even emphasize more on that word, like generic word, because I used to do that all the time. And I
Yeah.
even see many friends doing that. And I even told my friends, like literally after I got a job, because I could at least share my thing.
Yeah.
And even when they started to use different resume to different companies, even they got a call ups. So I would say never use a generic resume.
Perfect. What's tip
And
number two?
that would definitely be LinkedIn,
Yeah.
because like I've seen many people with LinkedIn, they directly got a job even before they applied a job.
Hmm.
Like some people apply for a different role at organization, so that organization may maybe save your name because they have a database. They say, okay, like this person came in today, but he did not got a selection because other candidate got that. But when there's a similar kind of job, they may take the database and say, hey, okay, I knew this guy because he already came to interview and is even connected me on LinkedIn. So why would I not message him? So I've seen, because I've seen my friends getting jobs even through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
yeah, so LinkedIn is like a important tool for any job or any networking thing. So that's the other main thing.
Good. And what would you say tip number three is?
Three would be interview tips. As I told you, phone, that may be a phone interview, and that may be even a direct interview. And and I'll tell you one thing with my job, which I've got, like my final interview, I was actually expecting a one-on-one interview,
Right.
but my interview was a group discussion, group interview. So there were like literally 13 people, and they were selecting 4 people out of those.
Right.
So you can't even expect what interview it is, because even like when I went there, I could see people standing, but I never noticed that, okay, even they came for an interview.
Right.
So just be ready for any kind of interview. That may be a phone interview, that may be a group interview, that may be a one-on-one, or maybe like there may be 3 people sitting in front of you. Even that happened with me at a recruitment, like
Yeah.
because they wanted to know more about me. So they were of different categories. Like one was from networking side, the other one was cybersecurity, because all they was trying to do is to help me, like to which side like they can place me.
Yeah.
So I would just say don't be panic, because recruiters are like a friend, because they help you to get a job. So they're like your friend. So that's the main thing I would say. Even interview is the main thing I would emphasize on.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Varun, for your time. These three tips and your experience has definitely been great. I know a lot of
Yeah,
people are definitely going to benefit from that.
definitely. Thank you so much, Shankar, for hosting me.
No worries.